to another edition of Igniting American Manufacturing, the show where we talk all things manufacturing in America. Brian Sexton, joined from Stuttgart, Germany, by our co-host, Rory Comiskey, and our special guest from Master Staff in Nashville, the host of Mastering the Workforce podcast, Jennifer Sheets. Welcome, Jen. How are you?
Oh, great. Thank you. I'm happy to be here. Appreciate you having me.
Fantastic. So let's go across the pond for a moment and check in with Rory, who is once again at the EV battery show in Europe. Rory, how are you? It's not quite Oktoberfest over there. Are you having fun anyway?
No, but some people, I'm at this EV battery show, and I have to be honest with you. At 5 o'clock, it felt like Oktoberfest, just a pinch. But I didn't imbue, so I'm sitting here, having a great time. I actually ran into some. I'm visiting with some folks from Battery Associates, a group I work with very closely, and they advocate for the EV sector and do some consulting. And right around behind us was a booth from CASE, which is the Council for American Manufacturers over here in Europe, and they do some advocating on behalf and some recruiting and things like that. I'm going to be meeting with them, talking tomorrow. They have representatives from Kentucky, North Carolina, and Ohio, and all those. Ohio, they're probably in upstate New York as well. So they're representing the EV battery sector and semiconductors. So this is a fact-finding mission for me, and I've getting some great information, getting a lot of great feedback from the Europeans. They're very impressed what's going on and the pace of our EV sector growth in semiconductors. So a lot of feedback, really good stuff, enjoying myself. But we have Jennifer here.
I was just about to say, you used two appropriate words. One is advocate, and that's what Jen does on Mastering the Workforce, and also investigate, which is what we do here on Igniting American Manufacturing. So take it away, Rory.
So Jennifer, you and I have had a couple of great conversations here, and I know that you actually have a podcast as well that talks about workforce development. And we had some very passionate conversations about it. I know you are very enthusiastic about the subject. So tell us a little bit about your podcast, and you know what? Tell me a little bit about the impetuous, why you started it, what prompted you to get involved and start a podcast. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you. And yes, we did, Rory. We had great conversation about it. This is my wheelhouse. This is what I love. I'm very passionate about it. I started a staffing agency 24 and a half years ago. In that time, we placed over 37,000 people in various positions all over the U.S. and Canada, mainly in industrial manufacturing and logistics. And what I have seen is what I had called, not only predicted the labor global shortage that we have, which is affecting everybody still, but I also was telling that we were going to have what was called the technology apocalypse, which is where, don't get all freaked out, but what I'm saying is that there's going to be an upside down, like in the show Stranger Things, an upside down of where you're going to have a bunch of people that are going to have their jobs automated and nowhere for them to go. And I started Master the Workforce. I started a radio show and podcast here in Nashville, Tennessee. The podcast goes everywhere because I felt like we needed a voice. We need a voice on both sides. We need a voice of the person that is actually looking at growth in their career, that are looking at changes or what am I going to do or transition. And you need a voice for the employers that say, what do I do now? How do we continue to grow? How do we, keep up with progress and everything? And then at the same time, develop our own workforce and keep them around and retain them. So that was my passion and why I started it.
Okay. All right. So tell me a little bit about actually what 37,000 people, that's impressive. Tell me what sectors that you really focus on. Is there anything specific or is it just a broadcast?
No, we do all kinds of things because we have to be diversified. But yes, I have very specific. I heard you talking about the EV. You're there. That is amazing because being in the Southeast where I'm at, a lot of EV plants are popping up everywhere. We've had the solar. I have had a company in the solar industry. They own 6 new patents. It's create energy, create renewables and things. So we've been in about every industry that there is, but we also do need-based industries. That's what kept us around through COVID and recession. So it's just been a little bit of everything. You find yourself kind of being a jack of all trades for sure.
Okay, I know you're down there in Nashville, and Nashville is in what's being called the battery belt, a bit of a play on words there. And that runs, up as far as Kentucky down to South Georgia. So yes, I think I might know some people in some of the facilities you're talking about. A lot of solar in the Georgia area and things like that. Great sectors to be in. Any recent trends that you're actually seeing? Are we seeing any slowdowns or a potential of a slowdown, or is it just still going hot and heavy?
Oh, I think it's a lot of smoke and mirrors when it comes to what's on the ground floor. And I think that's something why I love having the voice on the show, to be able to talk about and let people know what's happening and why we have to really dig into our workforce and have strategic solutions. I'm going to kind of circle back, Rory, to what I said, but people aren't realizing is two things. I mean, one, when you automate an AI to make processes faster, more efficient, products better, right? When that happens, the whole idea of that is that you can run leaner and meaner. And what's actually the caveat to that is that you start losing people. But what's happening is that we're going at such a rapid pace that everybody's in a rush of technology that they haven't thought about all the other back end things that are going to affect them 2, 3, 4 years down the road. Some of them I said, I wrote a book about it a year ago. Some of them I said, now I keep getting tagged that Kevin O'Leary and Elon Musk talk about, and that is that the lawsuits were going to start coming out with discrimination in softwares and technologies. And what's happening is companies are at an alarming rate are letting people go. And what you see it is a workforce that doesn't have transitional skills. And that is assuming that you think that the workforce isn't there anymore, wants to do, or is capable of doing, like has an interest in doing, of what positions will become available. I know that people like to say, to make everyone feel good, that it's going to create all these new jobs, but really need to think about it. I just had a friend contact me from Michigan talking about that she's in the nuclear industry, and they did a Zoom call with 50 people from 5 different states and let them all go over a Zoom because they were replacing it with technology. So I think that where you're going to start to see is that you're going to see B2B grow, but what you products these individual or companies are putting out, you eventually have to have consumers buy. If all your consumers aren't working, who's going to buy it? And that's going to be the effect down the road if we don't start taking our workforce and transitioning them into this world from manufacturing logistics to what's going to be happening.
So what's the solution here? Or is it upskilling, some kind of workforce development? What are your thoughts?
Without question, I think the hottest thing that's going to happen, and I am proud to say being a part of it, is going to be school. And I know that sounds like simple, but it's going to be training centers. They're going to pop up as much as the manufacturing plants do. I think you're going to find out that skilled trades from the technology point of view to actually people that know how to work on a 2D and 3D CNC machine this is going to be the new norm. People are going to have to take those skills and transition them, and they're going to need financial help while they do it because they're going to be without a job. So I think that the companies that learn how to build their own workforce and transition them into that are the ones that are going to be the staples. And I will tell you that there's a logistics company out there right now that has done a fantastic job, and a manufacturing company that has done a fantastic job. Macy's Logistics and Bendix Corporation out of Bowling Green, Kentucky are pillars of that, of taking their workforce and not letting anybody go. And as they grow and scale in their business, they're actually training them to run the equipment and all of the troubleshooting that goes around it. And they did not let anybody go. They didn't add any jobs. However, they've kept everybody there. And now that those skill sets that these people have earned are earning them more money. So I think that's the footprint that needs to happen for manufacturing from here on out.
Okay, a little bit about that. So are they doing in-house training and doing on-the-job training, or are they sending them off to vendors to learn new equipment, or a combination of both? Great combination. Yep. That was a great question, Rory. It's a combination of both. And it's actually compartmentalizing it so that the training can be faster and more efficient and different. So like if it's going to be on the administrative part of whatever they're working from a machine, or the outskirts of what that causes, it changes, like in the finance department, or how they react to things or what the verbiage is, then they go somewhere. And then when they're physically working on the equipment, maybe they go to the original manufacturer, or they go to a facility. And then when they have to actually take it to making it run, then they finish those fine points of that when they're at the actual facility once that equipment is put in there. So it just becomes a combination of all of it. Okay, all right. Well, yeah, Brian hears me all the time like a broken record. We're at a precipice. We need to upskill, and the preponderance of that work, and here I go to say it again, is going to be on the manufacturers to do it. It's about upskilling, on-the-job training, micro certifications and retention and keeping people and valuing people.
Without question.
It's too, you know, one of the biggest costs to any manufacturing facility is their training. So every time you let somebody go, the dollar value, the reset, in that is enormous. So there's value in keeping people, and it's just a good thing to do too. So it's about creating a good company culture. So letting people go is a really easy solution, but it's not a long-term solution. So, right.
Well, yeah, because you keep letting everybody go. Eventually, when you get to the end of the game, who's going to buy your products, goods, and services? I mean, you can do B2B all you want, but at the end of the day, usually people are making products and goods and having services go out that there's a consumer, and usually it's us. And so if you flip that and make it so far upside down, they'll feel it, but it'll be 2 or 3 years down and it'll be a little too late. So that's why I love my show. I do my podcast. Why, as a CEO of Master Staff, this is it's our biggest value add service that we offer companies, is to come in and evaluate what's going on and helping them transition into that so they don't lose their workforce, have a trained and skilled workforce, and they can scale with profitability and efficiency.
Well, you know what? Tell me a little bit about the show. So having guests on speaking about, tell me what you're doing with the show.
Absolutely. We have guests on. Some weeks we give some commentary, talk about the issues, when we talked about non-competes, which was a big hot issue in the United States here and all that type of thing. But mainly we'll bring guests on and we talk about, what they're doing, inspiration stories, what to do, what not to do, and just kind of look at everything from a wide lens, from the CEO to the line haul driver. It doesn't matter. We all do this. We spend 70% of our lives working, and we all need to start collaborating and sharing together. And it'll be a wealth of knowledge when you do that. And that's what I love about the show. You can learn a lot.
Jennifer, I'll make a point of watching a little more frequently.
Oh, thank you.
I love your passion.
I
love your passion. I think I said in our last show, there's a couple of things. There's some stigma about blue collar work. There's stigma about manufacturing. We need to change that, and we need people to advocate on behalf of that. And you're actively doing that. So we need more Jennifer Sheets out there advocating on the behalf. A healthy and robust middle class, keeps America prosperous, but they need good, steady manufacturing jobs. Manufacturing jobs pay 20 to 30% more than the national average.
Yes,
So a healthy middle class with good paying jobs is just good for everybody. So thank you so much for what you do.
Oh, thank you so much. I was going to say the same for you, Rory, and you, Brian, what you're doing. You talk about my show. Look what you do. You both are out there, exactly the title of your show, and it's inspiring. So I am honored and so excited that you invited me to be on the show, because I'm an advocate of this, and I believe, and I think you both are just doing a fantastic job.
Fighting the good fight together.
That's right.
An effort to ignite American manufacturing. The name of the show is Mastering the Workforce. Check it out. So, Jen, thanks so much for joining us from Nashville. We hope you'll come back and join us again.
If you'll have me, I would be honored.
We absolutely will. And the next time we talk, Roy, hopefully you'll be back on this side of the Atlantic.
I'm coming home, and I'm staying home for a while. Traveling is great.
We're looking forward to having you
No
right
place
here in
like
the
home.
seat next to me where you belong, pal. But appreciate the good work you're
no
doing
place
over
like
there,
home.
expressing American manufacturing in very personal terms to the folks in Germany. So until next time, thanks for joining us on Igniting American Manufacturing.
Fusion IRX is an iteration of firms I've worked with over the years. And I think we've taken the best pieces of the different firms I worked in and pulled it together. We're subject matter experts at the end of the day. So we work in high-tech manufacturing. We are open to looking at other things, but we kind of really stick to semiconductor, where my roots are. It's where I originally came from. The EV ecosystem, whether it's battery manufacturing, auto, recycling, mineral processing, and then finally the global data sphere, so building data centers. That's not really manufacturing, but then again, it kind of is. We're good at what we do, and we have a lot of passion about it, and we can help you.